Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm Dr. Ibrahim Saudi, and I'm a Muslim from Egypt. I don't like to specify or say that I'm a specific type of Muslim. I just follow the teachings of Muhammad, the Prophet. And I always say that what is good enough for Muhammad is good enough for me. I have been actually active quite a bit in world affairs in general, because as a Muslim, my job is not just to care about Muslims. No. My job is to care about the whole universe. And there is a verse actually in the Quran where Allah talks to the Prophet Muhammad and tells him, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. I haven't sent you except as a mercy, not just for mankind. It's actually for even animals, for the environment, for the whole creation of Allah. So I have been pushing for that. And also in the Quran, Allah describes Muslims as people who handle their differences via dialogue. وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُمْ. That the people who really believe in Allah should solve their differences via negotiations and dialogue rather than taking up arms and causing destruction. Because you don't win. When you start warring with each other, you don't win. Everybody loses. Even the ones who win temporarily loses actually on the long term. I have proposed the three things that I am also, inshallah, will follow up on. A continuous dialogue between Muslims of different backgrounds on a local level. And I'm the one who started the dialogue tonight, and inshallah that will spread as a global issue between Muslims. The second one, we need a global dialogue between Muslims. We need to create something like the Muslim Union, for example, kind of like the European Union. Why wouldn't the Europeans be able to form a union to bring them together with all their differences, religion and background and politics and everything? The Europeans succeeded in creating something called the European Union. We as Muslims should also create something like the European Union. We have a yearly conference called Hajj, pilgrimage, where Muslims from every country in the world go to perform one corner of or pillar of the Islam. Why don't we take advantage of that and form a conference attached to Hajj, where actually Muslims representing every country in the world sit together in one big hall and get to know each other, talk about the problems in every part of the world, and then find common solutions. My commitment is I will be pushing for all these things over the coming days and years, as I have been doing in the past. What I would like to see is we continue what we have done today, make it a regular event, not just a one-time event, and also start actually listening to each other in terms of what makes us different from each other. Like, I don't like to say people talking to each other, I actually like to say people listening to each other. I would like us to listen to each other, and then maybe you can also correct somebody's understanding or let them have better idea why do you understand things different than them, rather than just because we disagree then we don't talk to each other, because that leads to actually the idiots, excuse me for the expression, the idiots on all sides actually taking charge of the situation and making a mess out of it rather than actually improving it. So on the local level, inshallah, I will be pushing for this continuous listening to each other.
Yes, my name is Mariam Q.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Vietnam. In fact, I was raised in a Catholic convent in Vietnam. I came here in 1975 when I was 19 years old at the end of the Vietnam War. I came across Islam when I was 38 years old. So one of the major reasons that I'm here today is because of that the Vietnam War ended, and it had a successful end. If it didn't end, and there would be a lot more suffering going on. And I attribute the end of the Vietnam War largely to a very successful anti-war movement in the United States. And often I wish and I wonder whether we could do a root cause analysis of what happened then during the Vietnam War and what's going on today, and why is that we're not having a successful anti-war movement? Is it not strong enough? Is it misdirected? Or is it because we don't have enough information about why each of these wars is going on? Or are we receiving the wrong information? The most successful way to do that would I would think that through open dialogues and people who have different level of access to information, and hoping that we can be more informed. I think that it would be a wonderful, first of all, be a wonderful opportunity, because no matter what spiritual background people have, most people that I talk to, whether in individual or groups, have an innate desire to fight against wars that are committed against humanity. So for us just to come come together to work towards a common cause, to end war crimes against humanity, is a wonderful way to pull all faiths together and to work, with each other as human beings, rather than people of certain faith. I think if we, as the human race, comes to realization one day that the effects of wars are far beyond just the morbidity and mortality that happen during wartime itself, but war often have scars and wounds that last way beyond after the war ended. For example, in Vietnam now, we still have many victims of Agent Orange. We still have people who are still stepping on landmines, and we're talking about 40 years later, and we still have that. And this is not even going to post-traumatic stress syndrome among civilians as well as fighters at the time. I think we can learn a great deal about those wars if we are open-minded and watch more than just, let's say, Fox News, and be humble enough to admit that, yes, we were let into the war based on certain information. Now the information is turned out not to be correct. That we be humble enough to say, okay, we made a mistake. And it's never too late to pull out. Well, as I mentioned before, the impacts of war is not just only the body count we have on the battlefield. I mean, the scars and wounds of war goes beyond that, the destruction of history. I mean, I often think of Baghdad. To me, is not unsimilar. Baghdad is not unsimilar to, let's say, Rome, where all civilization converged. And here, just think that the destruction of war has, destroyed this piece of history that is a gift to mankind is really sickening. And this is even beyond like I said, the body count we see on the battlefield. And then, yes, and the refugee crisis that comes as a side effects of war.
My name is Khan Hussain. I'm originally from India. I consider myself to be a Shia Muslim, but I have extended Sunni family. My father was president of 2 Sunni mosques in Bombay, India. One of the mosques was the foundation with his own hand that today almost 1,000 people pray Salat al-Jummah, which is Friday prayer. And my wife is also a Sunni. So that is my background when it comes to sectarian, and I do pray I go pray at Sunni mosques, Sunni centers, especially like Friday prayers and other prayers, and of course I pray at Shia mosques, and I'm involved in mostly on the Shia side, but I'm also involved on the Sunni side. Yeah, so my personal commitment, and it's my passion to work on this sectarian issue, which is claiming people's life by building relationship, opening dialogues, clearing misconceptions. We are all brother in humanity or brother in faith, so that is very important to me. This sectarian thing is taking life in people in Middle East, in the Muslim world, which is very sad and sorrowful. And I hope building bridges, building relationship with other sects, it will help us clearing the misconceptions and living people peacefully in everywhere, even in US or in the Middle East. I mean, the first we have to start with the grassroots level of starting dialogue, building relationship with people from all sects. I would say, Shia, Sunni, Ahmadiyyas, whoever claims to be Muslims, every Muslims, I would, encourage them to, open a dialogue, invite people to their centers, build relationship, build personal relationship, talk to them, and use media if you can, make programs. Try to create an event and get together. Any kind of dialogue, any kind of relationship that you can do will move in a positive step. The first topic is clearing the doubts and talking about commonalities instead of difference. If you see the Shias and Sunnis, as I have a mixed family, I can say 95% we are same. Like we do the same Hajj, same Salah, same Zakat, same Quran, same. Pretty much same, except we have little bit here and there difference. Of course, there is difference, but there is not much difference like we have been crazy involved in this sectarian violence and differences.